Hello everybody, my name is Ethan from Other Than Ethan Productions, and today we are reviewing the SH Figuarts Full Power Super Saiyan Broly from Dragon Ball Super Broly. Now before we get into the figure, let's get into the box. Whoops, Broly fell over there. Just lean him there. So, you got some art of him powering up, yelling, standard fare, Funimation, Bandai sticker, Dragon Ball Super Broly, Instamashi, and the holographic sticker. You've got the standard black and white photos here on the side. This box is quite huge, so I won't be able to get it all on camera, but we got some poses, the standard stuff really. Now let's quickly bring the figure back into view. This is his back. These are his legs, rather simple, but very articulated. He's got some big feet. It's kind of weird, but he's got pretty good articulation, but we'll get to that later. First, let's get the clamshell out. This is the clamshell. It's got his faces. It's very large, as this figure is quite. Whoops. As this figure is quite huge. So to go over his hands, he only comes with 2 pairs plus his fists, but comes with these sort of ki blast hands. It comes with 2 of those. I guess it goes more like this. But he also comes with 2 sort of more palmed out hands, I guess is what you'd call them. Palmed out hands, some basic stuff. They're huge. They're super detailed. Like every little wrinkle and tendon and muscle is molded perfectly, really. It's easily one of the best molds Figuarts has ever done. For faces, he comes with, come on. Comes with this one, sort of evil smirk. Again, his faces are super detailed. The size allows them to do that. But, he's got a scar on all his faces. Here we have his yelling face. Very good as well. Now, for now, I'm going to leave these out for later. But I'm going to move the clamshell out of the way. And now we'll move on to articulation. Starting from the feet and moving up, as per usual. He's got a huge toe joint that looks, frankly, quite ugly, but it's helpful in posing. His huge feet, which are great stability-wise, but don't look the best. He has a rotation in the ankle, up and down in the ankle as well. He doesn't have a boot cut. He has his double-jointed knee, very, very wide range. He has his, hip articulation, but you can't see it that well because of his skirt thing, or Baw's ear, I believe is what the official name is. But this piece is also great. It's 2 pieces. It's this sort of flesh color on the inside and lime green on the outside with this very intricate molding all around. And it's very rubbery and soft, so it doesn't get in the way of posing at all. But he has a slight, he can rotate his chest slightly. He's got an ab crunch, a pretty slight one, but it doesn't have that big hole in the back like the OG Broly did. He's got a side to side in the head, side to side, up and down, but his up is very restrictive because of his very well molded hair. There's his stern face. Onto the arms, he has butterfly joints here, as you can see. Ball joint, up and down in the shoulder, rotation, the standard stuff, bicep rotation, elbow bend, ball joint in the hand. On this arm, though, different mold here too. You can see it's one of his scars that he's got all over his body, but this is really loose, or it feels really loose. It's not the most well translated on camera, but this one's a lot tighter rather than this one, which is much more loose, and this one's tighter. I think that's just kind of a flaw in the first production line. But this figure's pretty simple, so this won't be that long of a review because he doesn't come with any accessories or a base or anything like that, unlike the original. But let's get a closer look at his face. To change faces, it's pretty standard. Pull off his bangs, pull off his face, put in a new one if you want. But his faces are great. They're big, they're detailed. There's no real errors that I can think of. The scars are all intricately detailed. Very good. His nose is very pointy, as it should be. I believe his eyes are actually, hold on. The whites of his eyes are printed, as most Figuarts are. But let's put this face back on, and we'll get into some good poses for this guy. Again, this is much shorter than my other two reviews because he doesn't have as much, and I'm a bit more skilled, even though this is only like my, third video? Anyways, for poses, let's just go with the classic Broly pose of him, where's his yelling face? Here it is. You know, him yelling from the sort of side perspective like this, bend his arms like that, have him with his fists, yelling. This is a pretty good one. If you do it at the right angle, you can show off the figure really well. I don't have a stand up here with me that'll support his weight, but another great one is to have him doing this, but he's like floating. If you have a big hefty stand, you could do it sort of like this. He's so big it's hard to get him in the frame, but you know, that's a pretty good pose for him. Any pose with the Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta, or Super Saiyan Gogeta, if you get that kit from Demoniacal Fit, is really good. Another good one is, again, him posing with Gogeta, or posing with Goku and Vegeta, and just having him, like, you know, wallop everyone there. But, this figure doesn't come with any accessories besides, you know, his faces and such. Which is a shame, because the original came with those energy blasts. That this one doesn't come with anything the sort. Comes with much less, just in general, because it doesn't come with that big stand. It doesn't come with, you know, the ki blasts. But I think this figure is better. This is one of the best that Figuarts has ever made because of this molding and how accurate it looks. They also got great shading in on all of his muscles and on his arms. A great figure, even with his, you know, giant clown shoes. He's very stable and he's easy to pose. He's imposing. He will probably be the biggest figure on your shelf. The only one that I own is bigger is the Figurized version of this character. But this guy is pretty huge. I think he stands at like 7 or so inches tall. 7.5 maybe. And he's pretty hefty too. He's not lightweight. He doesn't feel cheap. Yeah, as I was saying, he doesn't feel cheap. He's very high quality. All of his joints are very good, minus this one. But I think that might just be a little ant. But I think that might just be a problem on mine or on like the first production wave. And yeah, I mean that basically sums it up. But you know, I got this guy at USA Gundam store for about $80 a few months back. But now I think he's going for around like 100 to 120 on eBay, and I don't know how much he's on Amazon. But he's relatively accessible at the moment, but I'd wait for the re-release because they're going to do multiple waves of these figures. They don't want a repeat of Goku Black. But yeah, I mean, that about sums it up. He's not a shallow figure, but he's not like the most complex. Because what he does well, but he doesn't do that many things amazingly. But again, just the sculpts, like there's folds in his sort of bracers, I guess, on both sides, and there's a lot of intricate detailing, like the scars and all of the fur on Ba's ear. And I mean, he's a great figure, but I just wish he came with like big energy blasts and, you know, maybe a aura effect or something. Because this figure, or this character, Broly, he does a lot of cool attacks. He does that big mouth beam, when he first went Super Saiyan, he let all those blasts go out that Goku had to dodge. His fight with Gogeta had him doing he did mouth blasts. He's done a lot of stuff, but I think just because this figure is so high quality everywhere else, they had to skip out on that, which is a worthy compromise, I'd say. But, I mean, just the detailing on this guy's amazing. He's got scars everywhere. He's technically asymmetrical. This arm mold's different than this one, and this bicep mold, or a shoulder mold, is different from this one. I'd say the only major issue is, well, I can't really think of that many. Maybe, no, not really, because he poses really well. I think I can get him to stand on one foot if I really put my mind to it. Maybe, yeah. Maybe we can get him in a good running stance. Let's try. So, bend his knees. That's where this can come in handy. This part gets a little bit more in the way of posing than the back part, but it's not that big a deal. So, yeah. Wait, hold on. Stand up. Come on. With a bit more finagling, I'm sure you could do it, but I can't do it here. But overall, a great figure with great molding. Probably some of the best faces we've ever seen. This hair sculpt is great, even if it does limit posability just a little bit. Well, not a little bit, but quite a lot. But he's a great figure on his own, but he's even better when you pair him with, again, Broly, with Gogeta, Goku and Vegeta in any form, really. But probably Blue, even though I don't think they actually ever fought him in this form. Only Gogeta did, because he pushed him to that when they were in that other dimension. But, anyways, I'd give Broly a solid 8 out of 10. He's really good posing-wise, but he falls flat accessory-wise. He's missing effects, which is a shame for this character that has so many cool moves. Even if they don't really have names, they look cool and they're relatively flashy and stuff like that. But he's a great figure. If you want to pick him up, I'd wait for the re-release, or the second wave, I guess. I don't really know what to call it, of this figure, and pick him up for like maybe $80 or $90. He's a really good figure. It may sound like I'm trying to downplay that, but he's great in every way. He's shaded properly. He's got really interesting colors. The purple pants and the green, they contrast, but they work well. And he's an imposing figure. If you have him standing at the back of your display, that's going to be a good centerpiece because he's so huge. But again, just a great figure. About an 8 out of 10, I'd say. And this is Ethan from Other Than Ethan Productions, signing off.